Welcome back to the Lemon Factor. I'm Chad, and today I'm here with one of our two project cars, the 2019 Honda Accord 2.0 Touring. And I am really excited about this video, although it's going to be a lot of work for me to put together. We finally received our upgraded FK8 Hybrid Turbo, the 27WON Kuro. Can't wait to get this on the car. It looks great. Not a surprise. Love how it was packaged. If you haven't seen the short, I'll leave a link below here, but I did a quick unboxing of the turbo. So in this video, if you haven't guessed it, I will be taking you through the install process. So again, we have a Honda Accord and we're installing an FK8, a Honda Civic Type R hybrid turbo. So what does that mean? It means 27WON took the Type R turbo and massaged it. They changed the compressor wheel and the turbine wheel, made it a little bit larger so it'll flow a little bit more. And we'll find out exactly how much it flows in a future video, but made it capable of producing more horsepower. I'm going to take you through the whole install process using 27WON's instructions. So they do have instructions both in PDF that you can print out, and they have instructions through an app, which is fantastic. Caveat right off the bat, these instructions are for the Honda Civic Type R, the FK8 Honda Civic Type R. So as we go through it, we're going to have to keep that in mind that we're installing this turbo on a 10th generation Honda Accord. There's going to be some differences in the install, and I'll point that out for you. So with all of that said, if you're interested in seeing how to install the 27WON FK8 Hybrid Turbo, the Kuro, on your 10th generation Honda Accord, then stay tuned. If you haven't done so already, and you're interested in videos on the 10th generation Honda Accord, where we take modifications, we install them, we dyno test them, we do track test on the quarter mile, we do 0 to 60, etc. Or if you're interested in a Mark V Toyota GR Supra, our new project car right behind me, then please consider subscribing. Turn on the notifications so that you're made aware of future videos. And if you really like this video, please give it a thumbs up. We're going to remove this bracket and replace it with this one. So this hose will go in here, or this attachment, this metal piece will go in here, this will go in here, and then we'll have the hoses here and so forth. And this will sit in the back and connect over here. We'll cut that to size. So that'll sit in the back. Then we have the hard piece, hard line. This will sit closer to this end. If we follow this line here, starts here, comes across, tucks under the wastegate, connects to this hard line, and the hard line connects to the turbo. We got to replace that. We will be replacing it with this. And this is just loosely put together right now, but as you can see here, we will use the same clamps to clamp this hose onto this hard line. We'll again use the same clamps, the OEM clamps, to clamp this together. I've attached this side of the new hard line. Left it hanging, like I said, because we're not going to attach it to our OEM turbo. We're going to attach it to the new Kuro Turbo. And then I just pinched off this end, which would be the same as this piece. The reason for it is this is where the coolant comes into the turbo. I'm going to use our oxygen sensor socket to remove our primary oxygen sensor from the top here. I'm also going to remove our heat shield. So we just disconnected this. Right under here is a 10mm bolt, and you follow this along, this hard line, and then we are going to disconnect this other 10mm bolt down here. Using a 14mm socket, there's going to be 2 nuts and 2 bolts to detach. Here you can see the hard line. It goes to the hard line connecting to the turbo. We're going to disconnect that tension clamp and remove that. And you can see here it goes under the wastegate and then to the engine block. We're going to take the supplied vacuum barb, came in with the turbo from 27WON. We are going to screw it in by hand. I attached the bypass valve. This is the OEM one. We're reusing it. We are going to reuse our electronic wastegate. However, I did purchase a new arm due to the length. We're going to take this one off of our OEM and we're going to replace it with the smaller. And then we are going to attach it to the Kuro Turbo right here. I did put a new gasket that I got from the PRL gasket kit. We're going to take our hard line that we had from the titanium air inlet and the kit that I got from PRL for the conversion to use that. So this is not reusing the Honda OEM. We're going to reuse the OEM hard pipe and install it here. We have the bolts. I'm a little confused though, because it's great that they give you a gasket, which is right here, and it does look like the same gasket that is on the Kuro Turbo, but I'm not sure what to do with these copper washers or this filter. It looks like it could go right in here and crush together, and it kind of gives you a filter, but that is not what's on the OEM, and there's no reference to using them or not. I'm not going to use them. I'm going to mirror what the Honda Accord shows. We attached the supplied silicone hoses using the clips from the OEM. These were a pain. I got to say, these are a little bit larger and they were a pain to slip on. Finally got this one on. This one, move on to step 49. Top left corner of the picture though, it looks like the OEM hose, meaning it's a shorter hose connected to a hard line, as opposed to this long silicone hose that they provided with the turbo and had you install. So I'm not sure if this is right or not. Big question mark. Step 49 is to reinstall the compressor cover outlet pipe, reusing the bolts. I did replace the gasket with one of the gaskets that came with the PRL gasket kit. Step 50 is to thread in the inlet pipe mounting screws that are provided in the kit. There's one and there's two. Screw in just so that it's flush. If you really like the video, please consider hitting that super thanks button at the bottom of the video. We reconnected the coolant hose. As you can see here, we haven't released the clamp just yet. Reattached the hardline coolant hose, the one up top. So it's right under the wastegate. Reattach that clamp. And now I will release the vice grips. Step 56 is secure the turbo to the engine block, and reusing the OE nuts at the top and bolts at the bottom. Torque down to 44 foot-pounds. As you can see here, I did apply some anti-seize. Now I'm going to reconnect the lower oxygen sensor, which I've already done. Here it is. And for me, I'm going to use a zip tie or two and just make sure that this is tucked out of the way. We now reinstall, or in my case, install finally the turbo inlet pipe. So I have the PRL titanium. We've attached that and we're going to tighten it down with the two nuts provided in the kit here. Put our silicone piece and then the main piece of the pipe. We attach the hard line up top and the hard line on the bottom. I did cut my hose to fit a little bit better. Probably should have left a little bit more here, but there was a lot of slack. This harness back here is not able to attach, and that's okay, but it's not going to go anywhere. Just reconnect the wastegate right there. I didn't have a lot of clearance, so I removed the hose bracket that sits up at the top, and it gave me much more room for our lines up here. Otherwise, I don't know that it would have worked. So right now everything clears, it's all connected. Don't forget to reattach your MAF sensor, to reattach our radiator fan shielding here. So that is 3 bolts and 2 plastic push pins. Underneath the car to reattach the shielding. I'm not going to do that right now. I want to give it a couple days. I want to drive it, make sure that we don't have any coolant leaks or oil leaks. Now that we're ready to start the car, I'm not going to turn it over completely. I am going to pull 2 fuses. So on 18, it has the ignition coil and the injectors. I'm going to pull them both. And what that's going to do is the car will attempt to start, but it won't turn over the engine. That way I can get some oil and the radiator fluid and things just moving along before I actually put some fuel to the spark. It's done. It's finally on the car. I am super excited. Now, remember, keep an eye on your radiator fluid. Make sure it's topped off. And of course, the next step is to get this tuned. So if you're interested in who I'm going to have tune the car, then make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. But that is obviously coming. I want to take this opportunity to thank 27WON for not only sponsoring this video, but also providing really good instructions. With that said, I think we're done for today. I want to thank you very much for joining, and until next time.